Let me start with Revolut and ask you what your vision is for this company with a banking license.
I think to be one of the global super app, and obviously part of that is to apply for a UK banking license. We're not underestimating the difficulty, by the way, of applying for a UK banking license, because quite rightly they're not sort of handed out like confetti, but we believe we've done a lot of work, and we believe we're pretty well prepared for the application.
And good morning to you, Martin. And in order to go through with that application, it seems that Revolut has appointed a number of really experienced, such as yourself, people from finance backgrounds. And I wonder what that tells us about the cultural differences between these startups in fintech and where you need to be if you want to operate in the UK banking environment. What are your reflections on the big cultural differences you've spotted since joining?
Oh, no, I mean, I want to make clear I love the culture at Revolut, and it reminds me of the early days at Aberdeen, which is you concentrate on growing the business and running it and doing well. But when you do apply for these sort of regulated licenses, you need a balance, and hopefully I and my colleagues can provide that balance to the company, but I do stress we're not out to change the culture of the company. We're just out to improve it in terms of regulation, and we've come a long way actually in the last 2 years. The risk function and the customer service function have all developed hugely over the last 2 years.
I wonder what you can do there. With your background and given the nascent kind of business, the kids want to get into asset management maybe through these kind of apps, right? ETFs have become a huge and growing business. People want passive investment help. Do you see a future like that for Revolut?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there are no plans at the moment to develop a full asset management capability. But I do think that a generation below me would prefer to manage their money on their phone rather than through a private banker or that type of channel. So yeah, I think it is something that will inevitably come to fintech, because asset management is being disrupted at the moment. As you said, this big shift from active to passive. That's led to lower fees, and of course the third big headwind that the industry has is public to private, and that is a trend that the individual retail investor has so far found difficult to participate in. It's largely been the domain of institutional investors. So yeah, I do think eventually there will be asset management on the app. I think it will be pointed much more towards passive and ETFs, as you suggested, because as I say, the generation below me are quite more conscious on fees. So yeah, I think there's I think fintechs will embrace that channel.
And talking about opportunities, Martin, where do you see UK finance finding those opportunities? Not just the City of London, but the financial services industry more broadly across the UK. There's a lot of focus on whether we will get this equivalence status with the EU. And I wonder if that should be a focus, should be a preoccupation, or maybe there's opportunity in divergence.
I think there's opportunity in both. You definitely want equivalence, because it will make it. If I look at it in asset management, it will make it, the fund managers will be located in London. Now, clearly the Europeans would prefer the asset managers to be positioned globally in markets such as Dublin, Paris, Frankfurt, because where the asset managers are tends to dictate a lot of where the banks are. So that service these asset managers. So in asset management, yeah, we definitely want to have equivalence. We also want to develop fintech, and we are a global center for fintech. So we clearly want to keep that lead. It's a great area, and it's great fun as well. I mean, and great fun being part of something that is disrupting traditional financial services. And you either disrupt yourself or you will get disrupted by someone.
It's funny. I mean, the importance of the city doesn't seem it doesn't seem so key coming from Aberdeen or from Edinburgh, Martin. I mean, you've proven that important financial activities can take place elsewhere. Why doesn't the capital of the financial world shift to Frankfurt or to Amsterdam or to Paris?
I think we underestimate the infrastructure that exists in London to service the financial service centre that is located there. And I suppose it's where people are based, basically. It would mean uprooting to other cities. And much as I love going to Dublin or Frankfurt or even Paris, they're not as big, especially Dublin and Frankfurt are not as big as London in population. So I think that's something. But I don't think we in the UK should underestimate the threat from these satellite financial centres in the future, because if we do underestimate it, again, we will be disrupted, and people will offer good tax benefits to move, these sort of things. So yeah, we've got to be wary in London about the growth of these financial centres.